Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Happy Monday to you. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you for your patience. The next couple weekends I'll be quite busy, so just heads up, weekends be a little less available, but I do deeply appreciate all the requests that I've got from my community. I'll be happy to check those out here today. We're going to start with baseline with Bitcoin, see kind of what's going on with this weekend activity. We got 2 solid red days over the weekend. Kind of standard, but also uncommon, right? Or at least if you exclude the last couple of weekends, we've been pretty much seeing a lot of sideways action from Bitcoin. Lately, we've been seeing some selling pressure over the weekend and then typically opening up with some strength either Monday or Tuesday. So we're going to look at that to kind of see if there's any trends that we can identify. We'll look at some back-end stuff here too as well. Also, quick congrats to our community members here for some awesome scalps here today. Yes, we took 25% now, or negative rather, for Solana, but we've made it up with AVAX, Matic, and Solana as well. So again, that's why we always like to hedge our shorts with longs with shorts, so that way you can offset and compensate for those losses. Speaking of compensation, take a look at this guy here. Gala, 190% in 1 month. Terra Classic, 108% in 2 months. So I don't care who you are, that's good profit regardless of how long you have to wait. We do have some faster trades, of course. Uni, we took a short there about 25%, and KNC a long for 30%. So we're going to take a look at a few key factors here, of course. Jump into the backend data first and foremost. We got some heavy long liquidation levels at about 36,600. So we kind of zoom in here, you can see that there are some scared long leverage at 36.6. They just got wicked down here today. Some of them got stopped out, but not all. We'll look at the heat map to identify, but the simple way to understand this here is that there's some high leverage there, and it's usually best practice not to use such high leverage. Okay, again, depending on how you look at it. Those trades I shared with you already, those are our trades taken 5 to 10x leverage tops. Usually do 10x for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and 5x for everything else. That's generally the concept there. Take a look at open interest here. We can go ahead and see with open longs, we have the most amount of interest there at about 37,100 or 37.1. So 37.1 is a heavy accumulation of longs right now. They're currently underwater. And then of course we got some shorts as well that we can see are doing quite well. They're doing okay. They're at about 37.2. Granted, there are some liquidations as well where some of them got stopped out too or close their position at 37.1. But generally speaking, we can see that 37,100 is basically the open interest for both directions. Okay, and what that basically just means for us is that if everyone's trying to focus on that one area, opening longs and shorts at the exact same spot, it tells us that that's kind of the average true range for the coin. That's where people feel the most amount of support and resistance, or just generally the average true range is kind of average itself out there. Okay. So take a look here. Let's go ahead and look at the liquidation levels here for Bitcoin. We can see 38,800. We have a heavy concentration of shorts. But look at all these longs here. Look at these juicy longs. They're getting smashed. Right there, 37.1, 36.8, and next target is 36.4. Okay, so keep in mind, price could come down as low as 36.4 before it comes back up and returns. But we do also got to recognize too that 37,000 has been a decent amount of we got a decent amount of support there. If we take a look at the volume, this is kind of where you can see majority of it. If we kind of zoom in just say the last week or two, let's get rid of this guy. We can see right there 36.4, but the second amount most is about 37.2. Okay, so we're right in the squeeze here, right in the middle of this large amount of volume, and it wouldn't be surprising if we see a wick down to 36.4, 36.5, and then right back up just to hit those little levels there. Okay, so let's quickly note a couple things here. RSI is tapering off as per usual. Money flow index is slowly coming back up, but it's hard to specify that. I prefer to utilize that in smaller time frames. If we look at stochastic, we can see we're diverging once more. So there's potential for just a little bit further downside. If we take a look at the MACD here, we can kind of acknowledge that the price action is pushing itself down, and there's not much of a divergence. It's still continuing, right? So there's no proof here that we're going to see the price just turn itself around. We're kind of on the wrong side of the tracks in that regard. We take a look at the moving average. We're testing the 20-day SMA right now. That was kind of the big trend setter here for the last few weeks. So just pay attention to that guy. That could very well be a situation where the price action continues lower, and if so, we just got to be more mindful of what could happen next. 4-hour time frame, we're going to go ahead and quickly acknowledge this here. We can go ahead and see that we're below the 20 and the 50-day SMA, and now the 100. So we haven't officially closed this candle yet, but it's looking pretty indicative that we're going to see a retest of this 36.5 range. I mean, we kind of already have wicked all the way down to 36.750. So, there's no real reason to presume the price is just going to return fire. We can also see here, of course, RSI coming down, money flow index is pretty low. So last time money flow index came down this low here, we could see the price action was at 35.5. Okay, so it came down and recovered from there, but that was when the money flow index is really low. We're not quite there yet, but it's getting low, so it's just typically best practice to consider the price action reversing itself when the money flow index comes down that low. But we just barely peaked below 50 on the RSI, so I'm not really super convinced that the price is going to return. Continue back upwards. So not really looking that great here at this point. We are just 7 on TD sequential. Price action is continuing lower, and we could see an overextension here in another 8 hours. So anticipation here is that the remainder of today's traditional trading day, we should see the price continue lower. Again, if we look here closer, of course, you see this volume profile. The second most amount of volume is at 37.4, so that could work as a resistance. We're kind of right in between those two volume profiles, just kind of letting us know that we're averaging ourselves out. It's not really a bad place. The good news here is, though, that we are establishing higher lows still, so even if it comes down to this fib level here at 0.5, 36,600, and we see a bounce, there's a stronger likelihood to see a bounce there because of that, okay? So definitely looking pretty good. One last thing here to look at, it would be the hourly. This should confirm that we are still bearish. The Ichimoku cloud is telling us we're below the cloud. Lagging span is not free and clear of the price action, or at least it's soon to intersect, and the conversion line is below the baseline. So this is telling us a couple of good things here, at least good for longs or potential longs. First of all, we're definitely short heavy here in that sense, what we saw in the previous time frame with liquidation. We are underneath the Ichimoku cloud, which is typically bearish sign. Conversion lines below the baseline, also bearish. But the positive here is that if the price cannot continue lower in the next, just say 12 hours, and this thing intersects, that'll be a closing sign here, basically just confirming that we no longer need to consider keeping our shorts open, okay? So again, there's some momentum here, of course, at play. By all means, do you want to kind of presume the price will continue lower until it doesn't? Me personally, I don't like to trade Bitcoin when it's kind of range bound like it is, so we're kind of steering clear of it. Again, taking some serious profits on some nice altcoins instead. But again, that's just kind of me. I prefer to trade alts for the most part, and occasionally when we get strong confirmation from Bitcoin, trade that as well. But it does feel like we're on the way down, and until we've proven to kind of counteract that, we're going to be continuing lower. So my anticipation is that as soon as we start seeing higher highs and higher lows, that would be a consideration for a long. I personally don't like taking longs even at 37, 38,000. It still just feels overextended to me. I'm a little bit leaning more towards the price action pulling back either before month end or as soon as the month closes. Okay. So again, a lot of different things there that could factor in, but you tell me, what are your thoughts? Comment below. I'd love to hear it. And obviously make sure, again, you guys take advantage of this exclusive offer from Bitunix. Up until the 30th of November, you have this available for you. Again, link down below for that. Be sure to check that out. If you already used my link to register, you're automatically eligible. You just simply got to trade futures. All right, folks, thanks again for watching. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.